So let's go through the different modes in the Canon 200D, right? So we have a Canon 200D with us. So first let's go to the auto mode, fully auto mode, intelligent auto. So we are not going to see any settings here, but if you press the shutter button, slightly, I'm not going to press it fully, I'm just going to press it slightly like this. If you press it like that, it should tell you the settings for the scene. You can see 1 by 60, 1 by 160, f2.8, ISO 800. So now let's go into the live view mode. So now you can see, so based on the setting, if I press the shutter button slightly, half press it, you can see the setting of the scene. So I'm half pressing it, you can see 1 by 160 and f2.8. So now let me change. So now I moved the screen, you can see that now it's 1 by 160 f3.2. So let me focus somewhere else. It says 1 by 200 and f2.8. So you can see how the setting changes based on each scene. But we don't have any control over what is going to be the shutter speed or the aperture, right? So that is the intelligent auto, or the ISO even for that matter. You can see ISO 1600, ISO 2000, you don't have any option to change it. But if you put it in program mode, you have the option to control the ISO alone. You cannot choose other things, but you have the option to control ISO, and the camera will take care of the rest. You can see now, even if I change the scene, it's still ISO 800, but the shutter and aperture keeps on changing depending upon the scene. So if you press the shutter button halfway, you can see it auto focuses. I'm pressing it half, I'm not completely pressing it, I'm pressing it half. You can see it focuses on the scene, right? So I'm pressing it half, that's all. So it says 1 by 125, 3.5. So it changes. That is your program mode. Now we'll go to the shutter priority mode or time value mode, right? So here you will set the shutter speed and the camera will set the other settings. So once you set the shutter speed, the camera is going to set the aperture. So you can see for 180 the aperture is f2.5. So if I move it, you're going to see the aperture is going to change by itself. But we don't have control over what aperture we have, but we can control the shutter speed in TV mode. So based on the scene, the aperture will change, right? Correct. So now we'll go to AV mode. So here we are going to choose the aperture. Say I want aperture 1.8, but the shutter speed is going to be determined by the camera. You can see it says 1 by 350, 1 by 250, 1 by 180 based on the scene. So I have to now change it to manual to show you the difference between the other modes. So previously the camera controlled most of the setting and we got to choose only one setting. Now you can see, even though I'm focusing, we are just seeing black screen. That's because of our setting. So you can see the small meter here, it goes from -3 to +3. So minus is the dark region, plus is the bright region. So we want to keep it at exact marker called 0. Can you see? So 1 by 60 and aperture 4.5 is the exact setting for this scene. So again, only if you press the shutter button, you're going to, only if you half press the shutter button, you're going to see the meter. Otherwise, the meter will disappear after some time, 3 seconds or 5 seconds, the meter will disappear. Then you have to, so now the meter doesn't show anything, right? So the meter doesn't show any reading. So you just have to half press the shutter button and again it will show the reading. So you can see the reading. It says 1 by 60 and 4.5. That is going to give me the, but say you want to increase the aperture or decrease the aperture. I will decrease it to 1.8. Now you can see the picture is going to be overexposed. You can see it's in +3. So now you have to change the shutter in such a way that it comes to 0. You can see I increase the shutter, decrease the aperture, and I brought it to 0, and that way we'll be able to take a picture with proper exposure. If I fail to do this, I'm going to leave it at +3. So now it's saying picture is going to be overexposed. It says +3, 3 stops overexposed. Let's see what's going to happen. So took the picture. Can you see the difference between the properly exposed picture and the overexposed picture, right? So this is what is going to happen when you use the manual mode. You have to keep the shutter, you have to choose the aperture, and then you have to manage the light meter as well. So now you can see light meter is in +3. So I will have to increase the aperture to decrease the exposure. So I've increased to 1 by 350. It becomes 0. So it's just a guessing game. You have to, how do you fix it at 0? You can see if you go the other way, it's going plus. If you go the other way, it's going minus. So you have to find the perfect setting for your screen and then take the picture. So this is how you take a picture with proper exposure using your manual mode or other modes. Here you will control all the setting including shutter, aperture and ISO.